on this week's episode of The Chris and Andre Show.
%90 of the U.S. stock market owned by 10% of Americans. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Right? But when we talk about the economy,
Jesus Christ,
it's whether or not the stock market's doing well, right? So really what we're saying is, how good are the 10% doing right now? Right? Are they making hand over fist? They are. Then we should all be thankful that they haven't brought down the wrath of whatever on us. Like, okay, sure, Jeff Bezos and Boeing, go build your stupid space port thing that you're going to do.
We have entire channels dedicated to 10% of Americans.
Yeah.
Like, they are not the...
Well, and what, like they said, the other 10%...
it's all institutional.
The other 90% of Americans own 11% of the stock market, essentially.
Yep.
So during the pandemic, I think the article said that the top 10%, the 10% richest essentially, made $1.65 trillion off of the stock market. And the other 90% that own 11% of the stocks made $1.35 billion combined. Like, so essentially the stock market is nothing more than what we've talked about before, which is a way to transfer wealth from one rich person to another. I mean, and this is coming from somebody who is invested in the stock market, right?
Yeah.
Not like heavily, but I have a couple of, like, you know,
but those are institutionalized investments.
Yeah,
they're not
exactly
like the ownership.
Yeah, so I will say there is one specific stock that I did buy individually that I'm rather, but it's just because I believe in the company.
But that's
more than anything.
Sure, and I'll
right?
take that with it.
And it's not like every day I'm checking and going, oh, is it up? Is it down? I'm like, no, I'm investing in this for the long haul because I believe that in 10, 15 years, this company is still going to be at the forefront of what their industry is doing.
Again, I don't discount that, but I look at...
No, I know. I'm tooting my own investing.
Because I was going to shit all over it in a second. Because we don't know, nobody that I know makes enough money to where their shares of ownership make a difference at said company. It's never been designed to be that way. And it's interesting that people, first of all, our government screwed us with the swap out of pensions for 401ks. But it's also interesting to see that people, like, they keep getting super excited about the stock market. I'm like, yeah, but I can almost guarantee you, nothing you own is affected by any sway, positive or negative, in the stock market. Like, your 401k will more than likely never be impacted by any, like, change that we have over the next 10 to 15 years.
Not long term, right?
Not even long term, unless the entire market collapses.
No, right. But so the one... I guess I'm not trying to argue with you what you say, but to make, I guess, maybe to
support what I say.
Yeah, in a sense. So during the beginning of the pandemic, right, last year, was it last year? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
How long have we been doing this? Almost 2 years now. When, like, back in March and April of 2020, my dad got really nervous because the majority of his retirement stuff was in the stock market in one way or another, and it took a hit. It took a pretty significant hit, and he was panicked. Was like, I got to get my money out. I can't stand to lose any more money. And his financial advisor was like, no,
right,
just stay in. It will come back. If you leave now, you are essentially abandoning every penny that you have already lost.
Right.
Like, you are locking in that loss. You are not providing yourself the opportunity to gain that back. And he did, and he's fine, right? But that's where I think people think that they can outsmart the system in that way.
Well,
You know, that they're going to become a day trader. It was the whole day trader thing back in the .com bubble.
I've got
and before
I've
that.
got a friend that's a day trader, and he makes like on average like $12,000 to $15,000 a day. Right?
Wow.
And he's he's younger than me. Like he's like a lot younger than I am. He's got a higher tolerance for risk. Mm-hmm. But for every 10K he makes, he loses like 15. But
Wait,
no, but seriously.
Okay.
But if you look at it cumulatively, he makes enough money to support himself and his family. But he's got a healthy view of what the market's for. It's not for, like, day traders are a different breed, right? It's a different type of analyst. It's a different, like, everything's different. So,
but don't you feel like there was a point where that lifestyle was marketed to your everyday investor?
Yes,
as well, right? Like the E-Trade and Scott Trade and all of these websites where it was like, all right, just get in, throw your retirement fund in here, throw it around a little bit, we'll gamble and we'll see what we come up with. Oh, craps!
I would say, like, with a lot of certainty, the only true investments that are worth their grain of salt would be currencies, which I'm not very well versed in, and secondly,
and Bitcoin.
No, that's no. Currencies and real estate.
To hear the rest, tune into this week's episode of The Chris and Andre Show.